Okay, here we go. Episode number 1,
Yes,
Center of
sir.
Attention podcast.
I appreciate you doing this, brother.
No worries. I'm Louis Down. I have Alp Asut from Turkey. We're meeting today because we want to discuss the terrible things that have been going on in Alp's home nation of Turkey and in Syria. Uh, I want you to treat me today. I've done some research, limited. I wanted to hear it out of your mouth. I wanted to come in as a bit of a blank canvas.
Yep.
Obviously, before we start the podcast, I wanna let the people know Alp and I, good friends. We attended a Christian college together, and Alp is still there. So, for that
Yeah.
reason, we can't do necessarily a fun podcast today and delve into perhaps some
I
Vegas
mean, of course,
stories.
we're gonna talk about the earthquake. We're not trying to do a
No,
fun
no,
podcast anyway,
no,
but
no. Essentially, uh, but I just wanted to preface for everyone, obviously, how we know each other.
yes, sir.
Uh, so, Alp, what brought you to America? Let's start off with that, just briefly before we get into it.
Yeah.
What brought you to this Christian university in America? Obviously, I'll let the people know before you start. Alp played for Galatasaray, huge, huge club in Europe, and obviously probably the biggest, if not the biggest club in Turkey. You're a draft prospect. You've played against the
Once a
light.
while,
Yeah,
we still have the profile,
once
so
upon a time. Yeah, you can look that up online. Uh, Once played against Luka Doncic, and so yeah. What brought you to the Christian University here in America?
um, so I was playing in Galatasaray FS, and as you mentioned, I played. I saw many big names coming out of Europe, and I played against them in private tournaments. Saw some good talents in Europe who was playing for, I don't know, like from Bosnia, from Spain, who was playing for Real Madrid,
Mm-hmm.
Barcelona, teams like that. But I was playing one of the big teams in Turkey that is a contender in Europe. But my dad wanted me to get a college diploma, and so I used my basketball to get a scholarship and move over here. I was originally going to New York first, but our coach um, flew to Turkey like 4 years ago. I would say this is in like 2019.
This is Todd.
Yeah, yeah,
Todd Franklin.
yes.
Just
Our
quietly,
coach.
top
Yeah,
man, great man.
shout out to
Shout
Todd.
out to
He's
Todd.
he's the man. So he flew to Turkey. He was talking with my guy. We talked with him over there, and I trusted Todd and Coach Todd, and I ended up over here, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been here since I've been. I was in Texas in 2018, and I've been in California since 2019.
Gonna try and keep this podcast as edited-less, edit-free as possible. But this is both of us first. Is your first
Yeah, this is my
in
first
first
time
in
trying to
life
do like
in podcast?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no. But hopefully, try and keep it as natural as possible, edit-free as possible. However, the reason, obviously, we're here. We want to talk about. Uh, re- Recently, we wanted to do this podcast earlier. However, out being from Turkey, this is very fresh news for him. So he's been registering it. We want to talk about the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that struck both Turkey and Syria. Uh, it, Correct me if I'm wrong. It troubles you in a multitude of ways. Not only the significance and the impact it's had on your home nation, but the lack of coverage you believe it's getting here in
Oh,
America.
oh, yeah.
Uh, let's start. Let's start with why this earthquake was so significant. On the scale of earthquakes, it says that over an 8 magnitude earthquake is considered catastrophic, and we've seen examples of that in both Indonesia. I think 290,000 people died. We saw that with the tsunami in Japan, and we also saw it back in the not the before this century. We saw it in Chile. Chile could be 1960s. I could be wrong. But this earthquake feels significant for a number of reasons, and I'll let you delve into it. But I read as well one of the biggest reasons is the faulty structures, the corruption
Oh,
in
yeah.
Turkey, the way they were built. although it was a significant earthquake, I'm sure people, although there hasn't been the coverage here in America that it should have gotten, you see the pictures of buildings. They look like perfectly good buildings,
Yeah.
and they are just decimated. Like it's like the Avengers just hit there or something. Like it was insane. So where do you want to start? Maybe do you want to start with the corruption with the buildings, or do you want to start on some of the things that you've seen on the news or on Instagram?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot to talk, to be honest with you. But first of all, I want to say that I'm not trying to bash any political figure or party in Turkey, but like I have to say this because this has been um, getting talked a lot on Twitter, on every single social media. My friends, like I see it everywhere. So the corruption in Turkey is in a level that is hurting its own people, and the Turkish people are getting poorer and poorer every single year.
Before this earthquake, I remember
Yeah,
me and you watched videos on it, and you
and
couldn't. You were translating for me like this is. I couldn't even the web of lies that is constructed and the things that you showed me.
yeah,
It just didn't seem like it could ever be unraveled. Almost it was so
and
deep.
I'll say this, like this corruption is from bottom to top. Like it's from drugs to construction. The bad construction scams kill the people, not the earthquake. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And if the earthquake didn't kill people, the cold killed people.
Hmm.
Like my nation literally froze to death. Like for
It gets
two,
cold over there for
yeah,
sure.
and for 2 3 days there was no help to couple of cities. I would say Adiyaman and Hatay was uh, the major cities that got hit, and the help wasn't there for like almost 2 3 days.
And with the
And
temperatures,
the
the,
temperatures are
the
minus.
first 48 hours is make or break for we're seeing tens of thousands.
Yeah.
It could, who knows what it could end up being. Um, who have you managed to speak to many people currently in Turkey? What is the mood? Let's get the mood. Perhaps you know someone closer to that region that's affected directly. Let's start there, and then perhaps talk to me about regions outside of that part of Turkey. Is it just regular business, or is the whole country in a bit of a scramble?
The whole country is like in a, I would say, like a depression state right now because the earthquake killed a lot of people. A lot of people lost their lives, and we could have saved many more if we weren't corrupt. That's what people are really mad about.
Mm.
And also, yes, my hometown was also it. They felt the earthquake. My dad was over there. They felt the earthquake, but our building was fine. And my mom's hometown, Malatya, got hit. My mom lost her bigger auntie, her mom's sister.
Hmm.
So sorry,
You said auntie.
yeah, her mom's auntie. Yeah,
She perished. She died.
yeah,
Oh
she
shit.
passed away.
I'm sorry.
Um, and my mom's cousins and uncle, I think they got out of the rubble, as I know. And my mom was in the capital, Ankara, with my sister, so they were fine. My brothers with my dad in my hometown, Madison, so they were fine as
Hmm.
well. But yeah, I think this gonna be.
Is it is it is it because obviously if you look back in history, when a war happens, people get drafted to war. Are people from neighboring villages, whether they may not be a firefighter or a rescue person, they
Yeah,
might just be a plumber,
yeah,
electrician. Are they all coming from villages and flocks to help out?
yeah.
Is that
If their village is not destroyed, yeah,
they're coming in?
yeah. But most of the villages are destroyed as well. And
The only silver lining I could possibly see is that.
but the thing is, I'll tell you this: like all my friends, like from Istanbul, that even uh, like I would say at least 10, 20 people that I know was in the sites trying to do the rescue missions, trying to help as much as possible to the professionals, and um, trying to help uh, get the food and water, all
Mhm.
those help to the people that got hit by the earthquake. So
For me, I like to think that I would be able to. get in there and help out. But when I see those videos where people are people are moving rubble and they discover whether it be a dog or a human, I don't know if it's what it says about me as a person, but I feel like I would freeze in a situation like that. I would more I would obviously help, but put my attentions with what I'd be good with. Removing people from rubble, that I couldn't. I don't know what it. I just couldn't. I couldn't even put cream on my dog when the vet told me to. I had to get my mum to do it. It is I freeze up when people in need medical pain, where pets, humans, anything. So when I see, it is devastating to see the videos that you do see online, and the ones that are heartwarming, although they are heartwarming, seeing someone saved like that. Each person that gets removed, I can't help but think, wow, that's a movie right there, just within one person. Not from a money standpoint, but just in the wow, what an incredible or unbelievable story that people are staying 3 days under rubble before getting removed.
I mean, you saying 3 days? I was just looking at the news just now. Like people are still getting saved right now.
Oh,
It's the 10th day. I've been seeing news. People, um, I saw this. I think he was around like 17 years old or 16 years old. This kid was saying he survived. He had a access to his protein powder, so he was able to survive with his protein powder. Like there's a lot of like bad stories too. I saw a video, um, and I don't know how right that people share these like videos of other
mm-hmm.
people's, like, you know what I mean?
Sad stories.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like I hope they asking for like if they can share it or not, but
you.
because I don't, that's like a trauma as well. You know what I mean?
Oh no, 100%. You said that obviously we've spoken, and you said how you've been disappointed or disheartened at the lack of support and empathy shown by some of the Western world
Oh
towards
yeah.
uh, towards the issue, or that it hasn't been spoken about or touched enough. Before maybe speaking on what the lack of being spoken of what it's being spoken, uh, do you want to do you what are some trusted news sites that, because you said to me that you've seen some dodgy information coming out, or things that
Yeah.
it doesn't seem reliable. What have you been using as reliable?
For a donation link.
Donation link, and we'll include. I'll be sure to include the donation links you send me in the description for anyone willing to donate. Hopefully,
I'll
someone
just
watching
send it
this
to you
as
and
well.
you can just put it up there somewhere.
Test me out. I'll test my
Yeah.
skills. um, but are there certain sites? Is it? Have you seen American news like CNN or Fox's take on the issue compared to Turkish news? Uh, is
So I was trying to see what CNN and other news sites were writing, but at some point I got so irritated I'm not even looking, because the first 3 days I think CNN had one or two news about it, and they were trying to make a news about, fuck if I know, like Megan Fox break up with MGK or whatever the fuck. Like I don't give a fuck what they do,
uh huh.
but like they not acknowledging this and still trying to. I don't know, bro. It's just it's not humane for me. You know what I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, 100%. And I think we see that with a lot of issues worldwide, where they just throw something else in our face that we really don't care about, but as we're touching an algorithm, it just gets thrown in there. And any of the important, unless you're going out of your way to follow certain news sites and to add them to your news page and your algorithm, and even if you follow them, you have to like those pages as well. I won't say why that we edited that part out. Alp needed to edit that part out, but what even though, well, as I was saying, even though you may go and follow a news site, unless you're actively liking that's how the whole thing with the algorithm, unless you're actively liking that Instagram page, they're not going to send it in there. So, and the reason I touched on the algorithm earlier is you said you're upset about the lack of people sharing and support showing, uh, and do you think perhaps you've gauged that of the lack of there being hashtag pray for Turkey, or is it because everyone's algorithm around us hasn't included Turkish and Syria stuff, and it's just been pumped with Super Bowl, LeBron James scoring?
Right. None of y'all had Ukraine in y'all algorithm.
That's
Come
a fair
on
point.
now.
That's a
Like,
fair point.
nobody had Ukraine in their algorithm, or
Unless you're a Chelsea, Arsenal fan following
I
Mudryk,
mean,
but yeah,
but you know what
yeah,
I mean.
yeah.
Like, it's a natural disaster, probably the biggest in the last decade. Like,
One of.
and I'm still trying to get a president's message published to the school and the donation links emailed to the students. I'm still working on that for like 4 or 5 days. Like, they making it too hard. I don't know why, but I've been talking with a lot of friends, and I saw like University of Delaware, Boston University, Purdue, Michigan State, all these universities acknowledge Turkey's problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would.
CSUN, I'm sorry, CSUN. I was talking to a friend of mine from CSUN, and she was saying that they couldn't even get a response from the president or none of the places that they emailed already. So it's kind of crazy that how people can be numb.
Well, yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think we see that a lot with perhaps Middle Eastern issues. People have grown numb. Oh, there's a new war in Afghanistan. Oh, there's a new bombs issue in this area. Or there's a uh, everyone's happy to go to Dubai for their holidays. Everyone's happy to go to Turkey
No, yeah,
for their
man.
hair transplant, their new teeth. But those same people perhaps aren't doing enough. I don't want to speak. Perhaps they are, but um, I've started to slowly see more support, more people talking about the issue. But yeah, I think a lot of it does come down to people almost being numb, because we numb to issues outside of perhaps America or their home. And I think at times the it is on ourselves to perhaps go out and look for that information to educate ourselves. That can sometimes become quite depressing. I think you've experienced that the last 10 days or so. You said you just caught in a hole of new information. So I think you taking that information that have been getting and using it as a fuel to get more people to talk about it, doing this podcast, which thank you again. I really do appreciate you sitting down and
I mean,
doing
I
this.
appreciate you trying to acknowledge this and spread it around as
Well,
much
yeah,
as we can. You know.
I mean, uh, I'd like to think I'd do so if I didn't know you. It does help that I have a close connection to Turkey. So just like, and I have been to Turkey. Like I said, other people go. I've been to Turkey. I feel like although it was just a holiday, you grow somewhat of a connection to Turkey. So you picture the places perhaps that you've been, uh, that might now be rubble. You see people that have visited Australia when the bushfires happened. People that had been to Australia were like, "Oh shit, Australia is beautiful. It being on fire, I've seen it. That's devastating." So, I think part of it, the emotion for me is seeing what Turkey is, going to the Middle Eastern countries. Uh, I hate to focus on American people, but we are in America, and I've seen a lot of the Americans I've come across haven't been as privileged as myself and yourself to experience other nations. So perhaps they haven't developed a sense of a sense of emotion or
Yeah, I get what you're
yeah.
saying, and I heard this from a couple of people that I was talking to that been here, you know, in the business department and all that. But like, thing is, when like Kanye West says something about
So when Kanye says something, I go, yeah, I
yeah,
go
Kanye says something about
something,
something.
yeah. First episode, Kanye says something about something.
Kanye says something about something, and
It's everywhere.
it's just everywhere. And this is after a word. Or Kyrie Irving publishes a documentary on his story.
Kanye did take it to the point where it was like, okay, that's crazy. The Kyrie Irving
Yeah,
one,
I know the clips you
Kyrie
talking
Irving, a good
about. Yeah,
example of like, well, okay, why is this on our face as
yeah,
much?
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
why is that being spoken
But
about? I get what you're saying. Why
yeah,
is that being spoken about more than hundreds of thousands or tens of
Facts.
thousands, however
Probably
many,
hundreds right now.
millions of lives affected.
Yeah, facts.
Affected, whether
14
dead,
people
injured,
million.
whether they knew them, didn't know them, aunties, uncles. You've been affected. You're not even in the country.
I said 14 people million. 14 million people.
Yeah, affected.
Yeah.
Whether they're in some way, or shape, or form. Now, the issues you noted, the specific things you perhaps, I think the MGK one is a.
I mean, yeah, whatever it is,
is a good example.
If Kim K is getting her tits smaller, ass bigger, I don't give a fuck. Like
they are a lot smaller.
Huh?
They are a lot smaller.
I don't, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, no.
But like this earthquake is probably the biggest natural disaster that been hit the earth probably the last decade. They saying there's 35,000 confirmed deaths. There's over 115,000 injured, and like this confirmed deaths are not like the right numbers though.
Oh, no way.
It is not, and the government is going to try to hide it because there's elections 6 months later. And plus the government said if they can't identify the person, they not counted them in the count. So if the body is not, one piece, they can't identify the person, they are not in that 35,000.
I can't even fathom it.
Like
someone cities, dwelling over, is this enough? Is this enough for us to consider this a person? Yeah. That it's just, and I don't know. I don't blame those in the position that have to do that, but when we just think of the issue as the issue at whole, wow, it's unfathomable. But when you start to pull it apart, like those little issues, or you start to pull apart, well, this area isn't making money for years to come. Years to come, tens of years to come. This area of Turkey as a whole, going to be affected financially, which that obviously doesn't mean more than the loss of life, obviously, but this is going to affect the livelihoods of those people that were lucky enough to stay alive.
That's the thing. This government stealing and getting like taxing these people for these years and just stealing. They fucked up the economy first.
You were saying before. Do you want to touch on what you said before about how people pay a tax for the?
All these people were paying earthquake tax over 20 years since this Recep Tayyip Erdogan has been.
People pay tax for the natural disaster. Yeah.
So, like,
they have a fund for natural disasters. You were saying, and you were saying that some of the donations that are coming out are saying donation from Turkish government, but that money is coming out of a random fund in the government. It's not coming out of the natural disaster fund.
They literally just transferring funds,
just corruption
between each other, like government accounts, and they say like, oh, we just fucking donated this much money. But there's news. Let's say there's a news that's saying like just for natural disasters, 41 billion Turkish liras has been transferred to this account. Then now they paying it back as 30 billion. It's just a lot of stuff going on in Turkey right now, but the government had to check these buildings and like properly check them so people could have lived in them, at least in an earthquake. Like all these buildings become sand, literally sand.
Yeah, rubble.
And some of them, like most of them, are just because of the construction scams. Like the construction scams, there's
just people signing off bribes and
and just for like 5% more profit, these people are stealing from while they doing the construction. They not putting enough metals in there. They not putting enough.
And you see that they fall down like a house of cards.
So just for 5% more profit, these construction companies and just individuals are literally killed over hundreds of thousands of people right now.
I read another thing as well. Not only the poor construction is one of the things that made this such the significance of the earthquake, but also the fact that it happened in the morning at 9 a.m. So a lot of people still in bed.
It happened at 4 a.m.
4 a.m.
It happened at 4 a.m.
So that's
the first one.
Everyone maybe the second one was. So everyone's still.
The second one happened at 1 p.m.
Okay, my times are all
Yeah,
off.
but yeah,
But my,
it's good.
my initial
But
point was the first one hit, and a lot of people were asleep in
yeah,
bed.
we're sleeping.
So it wasn't during the day, everyone out and about. So.
And the thing is, most of the buildings, like, literally just fell down on the
Instantly?
20 seconds,
Okay.
15 seconds. So most of the people didn't even had a chance to like run away and save their lives because of this fucked up buildings over there.
I'm interested to see with this corruption that you said, whether or not any prosecutions will be dealt to those signing off on these buildings being built, and if people just that's one of those things I was saying. Once you start to pull apart the significance of uh, the whole natural disaster that took place in both Turkey and Syria, and I feel bad or a bit guilty that we're touching on Turkey. They're not. I mean, they're not really speaking on Syria that much at all. You know what I mean? Like,
I
it's
mean,
not a pissing game, but we haven't really touched on Syria.
I'll tell you this: Syria is in a worse situation than us because they had a war before, but the problem is now there's over 5 million people homeless in Syria because uh, they had a war, and when they had a war, most of the Syrians came to Turkey, and like government literally said, opened their arms and said like, "Come on, just come in, we'll take care of y'all." And
I believe a lot of Europe did that, and
no, oh wow,
not to the extent of
dog, like bro, we have millions of Syrians in Turkey.
I
And
do.
and
I'll
I'm
let you know now, though, just before you do. I I do get where some people come from, but I am a big supporter of uh, taking in refugees.
yeah, but
It's
that's the
easier for
thing.
me to
Right
say because
now,
I'm in Australia, which we do receive refugees, but probably not to the extent
yeah.
of.
So that's what I'm saying. You guys would take thousands, maybe 100,000. That's a maybe. We have millions. We have Afghanistan people. We have Afghan people. We have Syrian people. Like,
It does have it
god
has
damn,
its
bro. We the like.
but
There's no words for it, but the
we
people are taking care of themselves barely in there.
no
How are we
yeah
gonna take care of refugees even after this earthquake? That's what people have been saying. Like, we have to send the Syrians somewhere else at this
no
point because
well
there's still people are
oh
coming right
no
now
well
into the country.
us uh obviously it's not my country, but I obviously I support. Hopefully, I support the fact that I want all countries to take in refugees to an extent. Obviously, we all want it to be I just want to see it done, obviously, properly, like everyone would. Uh, However, I do sympathize with the fact that it's easier said than done, and you got you. I feel like you got to sympathize with the fact that it's not their fault. We would all do the same thing. Like, well, you would as well. Like, they're
Yeah,
obviously running.
but
You said, imagine how bad you said it was.
that's the thing, though.
Imagine what they were having to run from to get
Yeah,
to
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like,
but that's the thing. Just come with me to Turkey, bro. Just come with me to Turkey.
yeah, I'm gonna
You
come
would
to you to
understand.
Turkey.
Like, bro, like if you see the Syrians and like the Afghan people, what they doing over there? This is not a race or nation or whatever it is. It's not about that. We took them already. We took them since 2000. What? One Syrian war was like fucked up, and they were all coming to Turkey. It was like I think 2013, I want to say, or 14. So we've been taking care of refugees. So it's somebody else's turn. Maybe it's Australia's turn. You know what I mean? Maybe it's you know what I'm saying?
No,
But
but I think
the country doesn't have any resources to take care of, like, they barely take care of their own people.
yeah.
So we have no even homes, or we don't even have enough tents for refugees at this point. So yes, if the other countries been saying like, oh, like they were like supporting we like Turkey taking Syrians, and now probably they would say something about it if Turkey tries to get rid of the refugees because trying to take care of their own people. You know what I'm saying? But
I just hope that I really do hope, and I'm not even a praying man, but I do pray that they both nations are able to receive the needed support. I don't think
that's the point. But like the subject that you brought up was like refugees would
no I
be
brought up
welcome everywhere. You know
no
what I
no no
mean?
I didn't bring that up. I brought up
That's why I'm saying maybe
I
it's
didn't bring that up.
maybe
I didn't
it's
bring that up. I said we're not even really talking about how Syria is doing.
oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's a lot of Turkey and Syria, Turkey and Syria.
And
And like
yeah,
I said,
I
it's not
told
a
you
pissing.
Syria is doing worse than Turkey right
Yes,
now
yeah, and it really
because
is. It's
Syria
sad.
came out of a war.
Yeah.
Syria came out of a war, so they doing even worse right now. But
Do you plan on going back anytime soon
what do you mean?
to Turkey?
Probably in May, bro. You know I'm in school. What type of question?
Yeah, no, but you might miss. You might not go back at summer or whatever.
Yeah. I want to. That's the point. I want to. I want to, but school wouldn't let me. If I go, they wouldn't be flexible with me to do everything online.
And what
I'm doing as much as I
you
can from over here
you've got
to
some,
spread around
yeah,
here. That's why I'm doing this right now.
you've got some influencer friends as well, I believe.
Yeah, nah, we don't. We're not gonna talk any of that, bro.
No, I know. I'm saying,
Okay.
what have they been doing?
No.
I don't know these brothers from a can of paint. I just want to know what they've been up to, how they've been showing support.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I try to look everybody's stories and support and share as much as I can to help people. But all my friends that has some voice in social media or anywhere, it can be a TV channel, anything. They trying to support the people that is in need right now. They trying to organize and try to be voice of the voiceless, I would say.
Oh yeah, no, that's well said. And have you seen a roadmap of Turkey? Obviously, it's early doors, but I don't know if you've had time, obviously, to look at how other nations have dealt in the past. I wouldn't know where to begin on the cleanup, the
I mean,
how do they get back to normal? What's the projection for hospital rates getting back to normal? What's the projection for court system getting back? You know, it's a lot to.
bro, this government can't even organize to make the rescue missions first 2 3 days. Do you think they have a roadmap? These motherfuckers are idiots, bro.
And I wonder to what extent a nation can help. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
obviously they can send the army and people to help, but at what? Because you know how someone, I use the analogy, other parents don't like when other parents reprimand their children. So
Yeah.
to what extent can another nation come in and be like, hey, can America, England, Australia, anyone come in and be like, hey, you're doing a bad job, let me do this real quick? Because I'm only assuming the Turkish would be like, what do you mean? You don't think we can take care of our people? I wonder to what extent they can interject or get involved. And as a Turkish person yourself, would you be accepting of that, a Western nation or someone coming in who might have more of a contingency plan on how to help Turkey? Would you be welcoming to that? Like,
That's the
please
thing.
come in
We've
and
been
help.
welcoming, but if I will show you the video after this, but there have been videos that have been like Spanish rescue team was leaving because it was unorganized. They were trying to use the big machines first rather than trying to rescue people, and so there's like videos of the Spanish team on a Spanish channel. I watched it with the translation, but they literally just saying they were unorganized. There could have been a lot of people rescued, but they didn't listen to us, so we just leave it. And there've been a lot of help coming in from Korea, Azerbaijan, all around the world. Even I think there's a team from LA Fire Department went to Turkey as well. There's a lot of like Germany, all around the world. There've been rescue teams. Somehow, some countries are trying to help right now, but that's the thing. What we can do over here is, if you like watching this anywhere but like anywhere elsewhere but Turkey, so we can just spread this around. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Donations, five, even $1, 2, 3, 4,
It
five
all
dollar
adds up.
donations
Yeah, I
are.
seen you share the thing. I think so I'm going to be honest in the sense that when it comes to donating, I'm somewhat skeptical or scared about donating my money to an untrustworthy site. So obviously, the ones that we post, we're going to make sure they're trustworthy. For
Yeah,
you, how have
so
you been able to trust the ones that you've been donating to
it's official sites, and they get in um, checked by official companies that is,
outside of Turkey? You
yeah,
said there.
outside of Turkey. One of them is foreign, and one of them is inside of Turkey. But so Ahbap is it's AHBAP. Um, Ahbap is literally a rescue and help
Hmm.
organization,
Is that
and
like a Doctors Without Borders?
I don't know, doctors.
A Doctors Without Borders, I think, for
It's
situations like this, and I think I'm not saying they are, but I think they might be an extension of, say, the UN. So they're not necessarily. It's like the name says, Doctors Without Borders. They go and help wherever they might need.
so Ahbap is right now most of the artists and um, actresses, influencers, whatever. Most of them in Turkey is supporting Ahbap right now
Hmm.
because they are really crystal clear with where the money is coming from, and where the money is going
Going.
to, and it's getting tweeted every single minute. Like if I go to Twitter right now, I'll probably say a
Okay,
tweet
I
where the
like that.
donation coming from and
I
where
like
it
that.
broke
I
from.
think another thing you shared as well, which I
And the
always like to
government is
see.
trying to uh, beef with them. That's the problem. Like nobody but government can get the fucking donations. It's just crazy how they think. But yeah, they trying to beef with Ahbab right now. But yeah, I support Ahbab. I support also Afad, which is a government uh,
Donation site.
donation site and rescue mission. So
I liked another thing you shared about how much I think it's always nice to see is uh, how much certain amounts of money can donate. I think with the 40-hour famine, when you're able to see, oh, $40 can feed a whole village for a week,
oh
it
yeah,
really puts into perspective when you're
yeah.
buying
That's
whatever at the
I had a
shops.
like so, and at this time the manufacturers of these products are, I would say, being pretty helpful because I heard this guy was trying to get, I think, baby diapers or a hygiene, or it might be a hygiene product from uh, Holland, I think, the Netherlands. So he asked for like 300 of them, and he asked for the price, and he told like him like, let's say, I don't know the price, but like say like 3.5 or something. And he asked like, what are you gonna do this much of this like product? It was like it's for the earthquake people back in Turkey, and he literally just give him for the half the
Yeah,
price.
like cost price
Yeah,
down there. Yeah.
so people are being nice right now, but
And I don't want to touch on this too much because it's
mhm.
not significant. What triggered it was when you were talking about the supplies. You mentioned to me just before that when the earthquake happened, there was Turkish terrorist organization
Oh yeah,
blowing up supplies, and that just baffles me. That
yeah, and
what was the group called? You
literally
said
it's PKK.
PKK.
So
Does it
they
stand for anything?
uh, I don't give a fuck what it stands for. I don't know what
Uh
it
huh.
stands for, bro. But this terrorist group has been in Turkey over 20-25 years, and um, I mean,
You said it was
it's
the.
getting funded by who everybody knows.
You said it was a
I
Kurd
should probably
nation. You
not
said.
say it on the podcast, but
Okay, yeah, maybe we'll
yeah,
prefer
but
just in case it's not factual or
yeah,
something. But
I mean, it
I
is
mean,
factual, but
um,
it's
as you said, it was a
they just hiding the shit. But yeah,
the
they hit a police station with a fucking rocket launcher, like literally 24 hours in 24 hours after the earthquake.
the I,
Inhumane, bro. Inhumane, like literally just inhumane.
I don't want to say it just in case I said it before and I'm gonna have to edit it. But the word you said before was that a rude word? Is that like a
What?
this um The people that you said that the nation it was. That you said.
That's a terrorist group. No.
No, not PKK. The nation that you said that they were.
Kurdish?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
Is that like a derogative term? No.
Bro, no.
I just
PKK is
making
not a
sure.
good thing. They kill people in the mountains. They are terrorists.
No, not PKK, but the Kurdish. I don't know if that was a.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure
No.
because I said it. I'm like, hold on. I probably sounded really ignorant then, but and you got the jacket on now. I should have pointed out before, but if you rewind to the start, Alp's wearing a nice, flashy, big ox shit t-shirt, man.
It's cold in this bitch, guys.
Get your merch, man. But yeah, just keep that like covered, yeah. Man, I hope this sound's been good. This has been my first in live podcast. As you clatter it around now, it's probably sounding horrid. But yeah, this has been the first in real life podcast. Not that it's ending necessarily, but I really actually, you know what? We could probably wrap it up. Keep it like this.
Yeah.
Man, I really appreciate you stopping by. We're gonna get another one in. We'll make that one more fun.
To be honest, we could have.
We got some stories.
Yeah, we should have put some more shit, but we can just talk it later.
I really hope the sound's been right for this whole thing. I think I got the angles right. Hopefully, we'll see. I'm really glad you sat down with me today. I appreciate it. We'll get a fun one in. A different one. But we'll check the description for links on how you can support Turkey and Syria and everything going on over there. Alp, thank you for sitting down with me. Thank you for watching if you've watched to this point. This has been the first episode of the Center of Attention podcast. I've been Louis Down. This has been Alp Asut. Peace, love and prosperity, my brother.
Yes.